President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appointed Ambassador Muhammad as the new Director General of the National Intelligence Agency (NIA) and Adiola Oluwatosin Ajayi as the new Director General of the Department of State Services (DSS).
Very true. Moving on, the appointments followed the resignations of Ahmed Abubakar and Yusuf Bichi, respectively. Ambassador Mohammed has had a career in foreign service, serving in various roles since joining the NIA in 1995.
Ajayi rose through the ranks to become Assistant Director General of the service, serving in various states. President Tinubu expects the new security chiefs to reposition the agencies for better results and tackle security challenges through collaboration with sister agencies and the Office of the National Security Advisor.
And the President thanked the outgoing Directors General for their service and wished them success in their future endeavors.
The appointment aimed to enhance the national security and intelligence gathering. Of course, still in the studios with us to do this, we have Emeka Madunago. Thank you for hanging on to the show and joining us right about now, Cyril Abaku, journalist and public affairs analyst. Good morning to you, Cyril.
Good morning.
And welcome. All right, so let's get into this. Of course, there we have it, replacement of the DSS and the NIA bosses. Of course, this is coming at a point and at a time when Nigeria is battling insecurity challenges and issues ravaging the country right about now. Emeka, I'd love to start by asking you, this little transition that just happened, what do you think is the effect now and in the future?
Yeah, of course, like the president said, I hope the new heads will reposition the agencies for better results, because at a point, both agencies were actually dipping. Both agencies had apparently lost focus, and it doesn't speak well of the country when key security agencies, are bedeviled by internal contradictions, internal feuds about staff welfare, and, certain things that do not do its image well. For instance, the way the DSS at the point started hounding journalists, just like what the police are doing, hounding journalists, hounding civil rights activists. That's not their job. That's not their job. But you see, the DSS, routinely competing with the police in maintaining internal security. You look at the recent bad governance protests, I beg your pardon. You saw people issues, even the military were competing with the police in terms of, in issuing statements, and then look at what happened. The fiasco that happened, was it in Bauchi, where a soldier shot an unarmed, a youngster on the street, just opened fire on him. For what? So when you have that overzealousness in the wrong direction in your security services, then what it means is that you have to quickly do something about the leadership, or else you might just find out that you're not that the entire system may be unwittingly brought down in a manner of speaking.
Very true.
Okay, thank you so much. Over to you, Cyril Abaku. Now, I want to quote the statement of the president, and he added and expect that the new security chiefs will work seriously to reposition the two intelligence agencies for better results, and charges them to bring their experience to bear in tackling the security challenges bedeviling the country. Now, looking at the current state of the country and the recent happenings and recent development was never there previously before now. And if he's expecting them to bring their previous experience, do you think the previous experience will still work in the current state of Nigeria now? Or there is room for them to actually get to innovate and network with other, countries or other security agencies that have got the sophisticated intelligence or weapons to actually help bring Nigeria to its, to the state where we admire or aim it to be at?
Here's my answer. The NIA, like the CIA, and the DSS, like the FBI, or in Israel's context, the Mossad and the Shin Bet, these agencies ain't exactly prosecutorial. Then, you know, the way we've gone about announcing the whole appointment and everything, I'm a bit worried. I'm a bit skeptical. The governor of Kwara State is congratulating the appointment of Mohammed as the.
It's from I think Alpha.
Is it from Lafiagi?
Lafiagi, yes.
You have to. These are agencies where a nation's best. A nation's best. When I mean a nation's best, when you work in the DSS or in the cockpit of the NIA, you must be multilingual. You come out, you can be seven persons at the same time without mixing things up. You can easily be. You can go into a bush and be a lion suddenly, come out of the bush and be a banker, go to Washington and pretend to be a bear. You can be anything, so I'm you know, the way we're before now the news announced, in fact, until this abducted out of Eichmann from Argentina, they used to like deny that they had an agency like the Mossad. They never said they had an agency. In China, the agency was so clandestine, was so secret, was so quiet, you never know. But then in Nigeria, it's bad enough that we are even, it's okay that we are, the governor of Kwara State, it doesn't belong to Kwara. Those men belong, they are, you know, that man that came to spill some beans the other time on China's TV, because he had cut out of the loop, he said he was one that organized Henry Oka's whole thing, and he said he's a federal person. And at that work at the name of his family, he had lost everything, he only lives for Nigeria. That's how these people work. The people who are supposed to give their best and their most for their country, whether that country is alive or as if they are dead. You know what I mean? So it's, but I mean, of late, look at the video of the sack of Bichi that they went and brought in retirement from retirement. And Wilango was asking him, have you met before? Do I know you? That's the man that you brought to come and run a nation's most that's the most elite intelligence gathering arm. The DSS, for all you care, is such an, you know, because I mean, I'm a student of tradecraft. Like, I just like to read up on these things and what movies that have thrillers. They're everywhere. You know what I mean? When they founded the CIA in America, it didn't have the word NW article before, so it was CIA, not the CIA. It was CIA. They asked them, they said, why don't you put the dominant article there? He said, do you ever put that in, before God's name? God, you know, say God is God, so therefore they say, because it's so, hold on. I'm sorry about what I'm saying. There is a lot, the kind of work they do, you will never know. You will never know. There are people who you will never know. So, but our country is thriving on some kind of, when you hear that people are nepotistic in the DSS or in the NIA, that are bringing their friends and brothers and that, you know, you wonder, do these guys, it tells you why we are where we are. Let me tell you this, maybe I should be a bit plainer. If you check the leading countries, the G8 countries, by the places in nation, by the people that the nation appoints as ambassadors to certain countries, tells you the level of the relationship with those countries. So, for example, America was saying in Washington, the American ambassador to Britain, right, to the UK, to London, is not on the same level with other ambassadors. It's a very special appointment. Okay, the same thing goes for the American permanent representative to the United Nations. It's a special appointment. Okay, then Europe, Italy, Spain, Germany. Okay, there they say you will see very high-ranking diplomats. Then when you want to come to Africa, they can advertise and say anybody who wants to be an ambassador should apply. Even if you are a migrant that went from Togo to America 10 years ago, if you pass the test, you say I'll be going to what are those countries? Burkina Faso, go and relax there. You know what I mean? Now, so in our own instance, if in the past we had a Bichi who clearly wasn't worth his onions, okay? We also had the Rufa Abubakar. I don't know if you heard of that name. That was the one that replaced, I think, Ayoke. Before now, this man that has gone was brought in. In fact, People's Gazette reported back then that Rufai wasn't intellectually and physiologically fit for the role, that people who wrote a petition against their own DG. Now, my concern is, was it not in this country when the NIA agents and EFC agents almost came to a shootout at Ikoyi?
Yeah.
Over money that, how is it that, These are the most basic things people do. Even Boko Haram is succeeding at it. There was a lady they caught in Nasarawa, was it Adamawa? She had a baby with her, which will give you sympathy immediately. Then she had a bottle of
a keg of palm oil.
Yeah, and what was in palm oil? 104 rounds of ammunition.
And is it not anti-aircraft?
Yeah. Anti-aircraft.
As in that Nasarawa?
124 rounds. Do you see the approach? That's what they call tradecraft. In the Mossad and CIA, they have what they call dirty tricks unit. They are the ones who use shoulder parts and all kinds of things. This one is somebody's eyeglasses camera. Those are dirty tricks department. Okay? So here's my point. If we look at how our country has slipped in insecurity, then you're looking at the controversies that are still the recruitment procedure for all the people that Buhari appointed to be what's it called? DSS and NIA bosses. I hope, because I don't need to know. Frankly, I don't, but I hope the president did his background checks well, asked the right questions, and is confident that the men he has appointed now, you need to hear, you need to see their work, not to hear their voices. That something will show that indeed he has put round pegs in round holes. What their work is nothing more than to make sure that nothing is going on around us that we ought to, that we don't know. Nothing should take us by surprise. That's the whole work of these people. You know what I mean? You are the one that said people are standing at Harlem and they are consuming the news. The police may say they are going to arrest and prosecute. These people don't think that way. The DSS don't think that way. You know how they will think? Their own is let us go there, be part of them, and know exactly what they are doing there. That's all they care about. They are not there to prosecute. So when you are here, DSS is charging Mayfield. I hope all this will stop. That's not there. You see, when you make people do what they are not going to do, you end up stretching them and you compromise profit. There's a reason they are who they are. So their work is not to say something bad is happening. No. Their own is to first of all establish. Even during war, there's military intelligence too. During the Yom Kippur, when Egypt attacked Israel, Arik, that is Ariel Sharon, was commanding a unit, and all groups on Arik. The bombardment was so much. Do you know what Arik did? General Commander Sharon, he quietly told his reconnaissance photographers to take pictures of Israeli positions. That's all he needed. The bombardment was tough. He told his people, the reconnaissance photographers, let us know exactly the position of the Egyptians. That's what they got. He was the reason Egypt won. In fact, Israel won that war. So they almost took off the whole of Egypt. He just took the pictures and went to Prime Minister Golda Meir and said, see where they are. If we go now, we get it. You know what? Even Golda Meir said, don't go yet. Give them 2 more days. Yes, a strategic. They give them 2 more days. They will come. When they have crossed that particular bridge or whatever, and then they've entered, thinking that they are coming to swallow Israel up, they open fire on them. They are 1,000 meters. The commanders were telling me, sir, we have. They said no, don't take them here. 2,000 meters said no, don't. 1,500 don't take them here. 1,000 said, do not spare even an hand. When Israel began to bombard Egypt, it took America and Russia to come on their knees and say, please end it now, because they surrounded the last standing army of Egypt. It was just from here to say, wipe them out, and they would have finished. They would have brought Egypt to their knees. This is the work of intelligence gathering. It's not for noise. It's not for show. It's not for somebody to say, my brother works in the DSS. No. We need today we need capacity to be where people think we can be. Boko Haram is planning something. The work of the DSS is not to go and it's not to arrest and announce. It's to go there and cause subversion. You know what I'm saying? Now, till today, people were flying Russian flags in Kano. Do we mean to say that we couldn't support the people who sponsored, who made the call?
Because obviously,
are we serious about that?
Yeah, because obviously those at the front line and the people who have sponsored.
No. You will go after, and that is the work of these people. I mean, like I told you, I like this, it's a natural thing for me. They are the ones who disguise as house in important places. Because if you can't penetrate, you cannot seek information.
Even hairdressers in public places.
My municipal stands. Places you want to.
There was even a journalist, who served the president, in one article, he said that he didn't know when he was State House correspondent in Abuja, that he didn't know that the woman who was making his wife's hair was actually an SSS personnel.
Yes.
Until somehow they, it just happened to come across them, and they said, do they ask your wife so and so who are that be making her hair? Say yes. That is an SSS personnel.
Yes. You will never know.
So that is the job of the SSS. But where the SSS or security agents, even the police, are fighting for attention, always getting into the news for the wrong reasons.
Okay, now, thank you so much, Still, Labako, do you think, or you mentioned the capacity with your recent analysis. Now, Ambassador Mohammed and Adiola Oluwatosin, do you see them having the capacity to deliver on this particular role they have been appointed?
Well, it's not everything that they've done that I expect them to put out in a press statement. Right? These are very classified. Spycraft is very sensitive business. But let's just say that when I look at the man's CV, the person that resigned from the NIA the other day spoke English, Arabic, and is it French or Hausa? It didn't convince me that was the kind of person we should have made. Even Geoffrey Onyema, that was speaking 7 languages. Look, you need to get people who naturally have interest in these things. You don't just carry anybody. And you see, it's not the Mossad where they want to advertise, and even the Shinbet where they want to advertise. There's a way they go about it. I don't know if today they still go to schools to look for bright students that they can recruit. Because you don't have to wait for those who just want to come and make a killing out of the job. You look for people that you can recruit, people who have made certain specific
requirements.
Yes, recruitments. I'll give an example. Because by in terms of trajectory, Nigeria has not offered much. So my history will go more to Israel and America, and perhaps Soviet Russia. It is the world's one of the world's maybe top 3 or top 4 spies was Eli Cohen, who was an Israeli. Cohen, Jewish, right? Eli Cohen, but went to Syria to become the chief defense advisor to the president of Syria. He became the major military contractor. He was the chief defense advisor to the president of Syria. When they didn't spend, but the damage was already done. Because when the 6-day war came, it was the information they had given to them that Israel used to finish, Egypt. See, the work of the NIA is not within Nigeria, it's outside Nigeria. This man, Muhammad, they said he has been in Libya, and until recently was our agent in head of mission in Sudan. But when the conflict in Sudan broke out, you see what happened to Nigeria? Nigerians could not even organize buses to convey our people. When they managed to get the bus, the driver said, "They've not paid me complete. Give me your phones." Then when we had to move from Sudan, the tire bus on the road, all kinds of things. It was the rebels that were giving them tea to drink in there. And then when we got to the border of Egypt turned us back. These kind of things. So Libya, Sudan, and so on. Maybe because the Maghreb, right, is the direct place from which our problems are, the whole jihad thing and the whole Boko Haram stuff. Maybe you understand that bet very well, but it must show in the Choma, your question. It is not about appointing people to those places that is the issue. What if they give intelligence and you're unable to take action on it because of lack of political will? This thing is not about them.
Just like Kuje prison now, the prison break at Kuje.
Yes.
The DSS said they gave a report.
So before intelligence report, and they didn't do anything about it. Will you blame them because of that? Was it Bichi the head of the DSS? Was Bichi to blame? He was not to blame. And look, before George Bush's father became American president, he had led the CIA. Sometimes, if somebody has capacity to do the job, you can give it to him. Even if he wasn't exactly a native, right? But if you understand the enormity of that work and can give it to him, it's fine. But where I'm going is this: we must have the political will and capacity to act on intelligence that we've been fed. Okay? The lady who was making, you know why they plant? You think she just wanted to be making the money? She was planted. You know why? Because when women meet women, information is the fruit thereof. The man, whenever he goes to work at court, he will tell his wife everything. When he knows that, she will go and load it to the woman who will load it back to her handlers at the office, which means she was a case officer.
Very true.
When they were to form the CIA, there were four test categories. All those that passed and all those that failed have different work to do. Those that didn't have the bravery to be clerical staff office. This thing is deep. It's deep. There are people who work for them without knowing that they're working for them.
Yes.
All right. So while we, of course, deliberate on this and more, just like we've talked about the fragmentation that has occurred, unfortunately, within the system, where it is now becoming more, nepotism is the order of the day, and so on and so forth. Of course, we have a civil society organization called Save Nigeria Movement, which has condemned a call, of course, by some individuals that's prior to now, groups for the resignation of Yusuf Bichi. They said that that call is a desperate bid by criminal elements to hoodwink Nigerians and curry public sympathy against the service and the federal government. That these are actually made possible by criminals that are under investigation by Bichi himself.
Sorry, who is that group? Who are those in that group?
It's a CSO group.
What are the antecedents? You see, too often we just give space to non-entities, to jobless people. The criminal elements. So what is criminal elements? Who declared them criminal elements? Please, I think as agenda setters, the media, we should actually hold people to account. I know the media allows just about anybody, just call yourself CSO. A group of people, can just come together and call themselves CSOs. And then when you can simply go on the website of the CSC, maybe pay some 2,000, and then they'll give you the information whether there's such a group existing. People won't do that. Sometimes even free, if you want to find out about any of this, it's free. But the Nigerian media will not do that. They will tell you this, who made them a CSO? Who made them a CSO? So the point is that forget about all those people saying that Bichi has resigned, so they can go and hold their fire. Right. So for now, but what I'm talking about is professionalism. The professionalism in the security services has gone down so much.
Significant.
All the security services, the military and security services, professionalism has gone down. That has to be restored. They have training schools. Sadly, I don't know if the curriculum, needs to be revised, because you just see unprofessional acts by security officers. You hear of things, infighting and all of those things. Those things are not supposed to be there. Everybody should know their own role. But you don't have, one major problem in security architecture is the absence of interagency collaboration. There's no collaboration. So a situation where, the DSS can actually give information concerning a situation, they'll rather withhold it. Look at what happened with the journalist, Adejuwon Soyinka, West Africa editor of The Conversation, an international media organization. You just arrested him and said it was based on a request from a sister agency. And that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. What for? Which sister agency? So that you have to hold him as he was coming. Not that he was leaving, he was coming to the country. Was he going to disappear into thin air? You know where the offices are. And then when the international community disparages Nigeria in different ways, you complain. But you do things that actually put the country in a bad light. And that is my major concern. Professionalism has gone down in the military and security services. That has to be restored. But you see, even the new man at the DSS, I'm being frank with you, I don't have too much confidence in the fact that he can change anything. Because we've seen people have been brought from outside to head agencies, no improvement. People have been promoted from inside, no improvement. I actually believe that people should actually, there should be career progression. People should actually be allowed to rise from, within to, prime positions. But beyond that, the interests of Nigeria, like serious, should be the prime consideration. But too often, too much politics get into it. They have to do the bidding of the governors of their states. They have to do the bidding of this governor. They have to do the bidding of people in the presidency, in different positions, politicians and all of that. And all of these things, political interference is actually making our military and security agencies unable to effectively discharge their duties.
Now, Cyril, just before we wind up, I love making comparisons a lot, especially when it relates to issues of Nigeria, comparing it to other country and try to see, the difference and, of course, peculiarities and all. Kim Shettle, the U.S. Secret Service boss, resigned over, of course, the very popular, Donald Trump assassination and all.
Attempted.
So this is not peculiar to us. If the U.S. Secret Service would ask its director, its boss, to resign just because of what the parliamentarians thought as a failure of the Secret Service in America, why should we really feel that BG hasn't done so much? Of course, just like we know, we're humans, and there's always need for one or two weaknesses here and there.
No, if I mean, like I told you before, I like to follow up these sort of things. I like to read up these things, watch movies, and the problem with Kim Shettle, there is a possibility that she was taking the fall. There are a lot of back end. A director of Secret Service can't be that dumb, can't be so. There's a possibility anyway that she was only taking the fall for what happened. It may not necessarily be that she was personally incompetent. Yes. But in the Nigerian problem is that you have got a maker. Now the governor of Kwara is commending I feel it's an unethical thing. He is not there because of, there are some, if you were a minister or agency here, it's even different. But a Secret Service,
if he has to investigate the governor tomorrow, how will he be in a strong moral position to do that?
Let me explain this. Sometimes they are loosely called listening posts. What that means is that the man in charge of the NIA now will have listening posts across Africa. I don't know if you get what I mean. He will have listening posts in Europe. He will be coordinating these things. So his work is not even internal. We shouldn't distract him with frivolous domestic issues. You should be allowed to focus on. Look, these are people that are listening on conversations that track and secure code names being used by terrorists. For example, in Afghanistan, when you hear somebody say on the phone, maybe that has him because now it's known. But when people typically say they are planning for a wedding or open up a new business, that's how they are planning a terrorist action. Yes. That was the code name. The CIA decoded it. When they say that they are planning that my wedding is coming soon, mommy, I found the lady I want to marry, what they're saying is that a terror plot is underway. Or somebody told you that he was expecting shipment for his new shop or business. A terror plot was underway. That are the two things that they always say. Any discussion pertaining to business on the phone was suspect. And any plan pertaining to marriage, any discussion was. So, do we know Boko Haram transmits messages? Do we know when they're planning these things? You get what I mean? Therefore, the domestic, the Tosi Ajayi, did I get the name right? It's fine, but for me, it is not the turn of Yoruba. He should be there to do. And please, I will say this. Their modus operandi also has to change. The Nigerians are not the enemy of the DSS or of anybody. They are there to serve us. There was a time the DSS spotted the terror plot and reported to the FBI, for which we are commended, and it's fine. You know, when we want to work, we can work very well. Another time, the UN bomber, Kabiru Sokoto, the one that bombed the UN office in Abuja, Nigeria the DSS, I think, spotted him, investigated and been closing him and arrested him. So we can do this work. In fact, to be honest with you, I believe in the power of the DSS. They have capacity because I think that their reach is quite good, you know.
Right.
But the important thing is we don't want to see them holding transition. Sometimes you see it's as if once you are DSS, you should be running away. You shouldn't be. So we are friends. We know we are all Nigerians. So this whole thing should. Let's put Nigeria first and let's make sure that when they've gotten the information that they need to get, that what's it called? We are able to act on it.
Yeah, very true.
Yes.
Very true.
Thank you so much, Cyril Abako.
There used to be a time when, just like people have debased the military in Nigeria, there used to be a time when you have an issue with your neighbor. You say, I would love to go call the DSS in Nigeria, just like we usually use the military for. Your fashion designer disappoints you, you go call the military and all on such a person. Well, I just hope that the new directors that we have would find a way to end all of that, so each agency would focus better on what they are built to do. We'd love to say thank you to Cyril Abako for being part of our show. Emeka Madunago, thank you as always for being part of our show. And up next, Roberta Obiaifo is standing in with a trending matters. That in a beat, please don't go anywhere.
Stay with us.